What's going on, guys? Episode 201 of the Start, Build, Grow Show. We are here with a very special guest. It's going to get into all things operating system, understanding how to build an effective brand in this industry to ensure you have longevity in your brand for years to come. So let's hop into it. All right, guys, appreciate you joining us this week. Again, episode 201. We've got a very special guest, Mr. Benny Fisher with Big Fish Roofing out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And yeah, appreciate you being on the show this week, man.
Good to be here, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to dive into your story a little bit, get to know you. So appreciate you being a part of it.
Thanks for having me.
So Benny, you know, it's been great to get to know you a little bit over the last few weeks. We've been doing this one industry, one model thing. It's been a lot of fun. Got to learn a little bit about your story personally since I've been sitting in the hall and listening to you. But I'd like to, if you wouldn't mind, just have the opportunity to share with our viewers your stories. So that way you could kind of get that out there to the masses and the folks that are listening to this, and would like to know a little bit more about that.
Cool, man. So I started the Big Fish Contracting Company in 2015. I was working at my uncle's commercial roofing business 5 years before that and learned the roofing business there. Had a career in sales pretty much throughout my 20s, and then my uncle had me come and help him with sales and marketing his business. So I got to learn the roofing business, take some of my skills that I learned along the way, and then decided that I wanted to make an impact in the community in Pittsburgh, and I wanted to deliver like a high-level concierge-style service to residential homeowners with like roofing, siding, gutters. And so we started, I started by myself as a one-man band and a crew.
Yeah.
Back in October 2015. I remember my first job like it was yesterday.
Yeah, the title of the episode, I failed to mention that at the beginning, but the journey of the one-man band to becoming a 4-hour work week, right? Is that what we?
Yeah.
So we're going to get into that a little bit today. So not only to how to establish a brand, but also how to build an operating system, to build systems around the team and the business you're trying to create, so that way you can ultimately get to where you want to be as an owner in your business. So I'm really excited to talk about that today. Yeah, your story is a little unique though. Your story has a lot of, it's a cool story because I don't know how comfortable you are talking about some of the stuff you talked about inside of the closed doors here while we've been at the One Industry, One Model, but a guy you're not necessarily just a roofer born and raised. You kind of had like this unique upbringing, and I don't know if you care to go into that a little bit.
Sure.
Just to kind of share your journey, I guess, to find where you are today.
Yeah, so I grew up in I'd say lower middle class when I was younger to maybe middle class. Parents are both hardworking people. I have ADHD, so like that was always a thing that kind of I struggled with in like school. The teachers didn't know how to deal with me. My parents didn't know how to deal with me. I kind of always felt like I was a problem. And all I wanted to do was talk to people and get to know people and always try to make friends with people. And I never really did find, in school like that, like it was a good spot for me. Like I never felt like I was like having an impact or making a difference. And then I went to go into the workforce, and I saw a job at a car dealership. I could make $100,000 a year. And I was like,
man.
Wow, I really want to, I don't want to go to college. This is what I want to do. I want to make some money, and I want to like have fun. And I was like, that's going to be my thing. So I actually paid money to go to sales training at this car dealership. I paid like $500. Like today, like that's insane, right? To have someone pay me money to have them train at my roofing company, like that would be like that'd be like a dream, like come true. Instead, I got to pay them thousands to come and hang out for a couple months.
That's super fun.
But I went through the sales training. It was a weed out kind of a process where like 30, 40 people showed up. And then by week one, like half the people were out. We were doing role play. They were really trying to test us to see who would keep showing up every day. Well, I was stubborn, and I had the no quit attitude, and I kept going. And so I learned car sales, and I was probably young and immature, and I had some ups and downs. I got fired a bunch of times. So again, I was back in this place where I never felt like I was accepted. I never had any type of leadership per se, like no manager or leader took me under his wing and said, "Hey kid, this is how you do things."
Yeah.
And I was always looking for love in the wrong places and got tied up with some people in my later 20s and started selling drugs. And long story short, got convicted, right, and caught a felony case, and haven't really shared that story with anybody publicly except for a couple of these conferences. But I was, met a rubber meets the road type of deal where, like, I was a good kid, came from a good family, good Christian background, but went off the beaten path a little bit.
Yeah.
I was homeless for a couple months. I remember in between, trying to figure out what I was going to do and trying to hustle on the streets. Like, it was just I wasn't really a street guy. So there was a lot of pain and suffering. And then when that happened to me, I went back to church. I got involved with my community. I moved in with my sister, which that was definitely, if you know my sister, that was definitely not the most ideal situation because she wanted to tell me how much she was helping me, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And went and got a job making like $9 an hour in a call center just so I could show my parole officer that I was on the right track. And I felt really out of place, right? I didn't think I ever was going to amount to anything, and I thought I lost everything. And my uncle called me and said, "Hey, I'm going to see if I can get you moved to Pittsburgh and get you started a new life and get you on a fresh track." So that's what I did. And I had a lot of good people in my corner, and I was able to move to Pittsburgh, learn roofing. I was able to get that felony expunged because I did all the work.
Yeah.
I paid for all my mishaps and totally transformed my life and started getting on the right path. And that's kind of like how I got into roofing, right? I don't think anybody just picks to be a roofer.
No, yeah.
When they grow up, right? We all get in there by accident or something bad happened, and now we're here, right?
For sure. No, and I didn't want to put you on the spot, but I kind of also intended to do that as well because you have a unique story, and it's important that you share that more because I know a lot of people.
More, too.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more. I know for the sake of the episode, you've condensed it, but just hearing your story a few times has been kind of cool. I love those underdog stories of folks that have kind of battled adversity, gone through some stuff, and find themselves in a position like yourself where not only did you get in the roofing industry, but now you've had tremendous success leading teams, being able to put in a system in place to allow you to be able to grow and scale and ultimately achieve what you're trying to achieve. You know what I mean?
The roofing industry allowed me to figure out who I was through training and education. I was able to discover myself and then really let that beast unleash. And it's been awesome because it's always been inside of me. I just had weird ways of trying to go about it because I didn't know how. Nobody ever showed me how, right?
Sure.
School doesn't teach you that.
Sure.
Your friends don't teach you that.
Absolutely.
And then you can either go to a dark path or you can find the good path. And I kind of had to go the dark path first to find the light, but
sometimes it works out that way.
The light's here, man.
That's good, man. Really That's good. Well, let's talk about, so let's talk first, first and foremost, like your process, what we talked about before we hopped on the show here was this idea of creating a unique customer experience, which I know you're big fish. I'm probably doing it an injustice. I'll let you share a little bit about your customer experience, but the big fish way, if you will.
That's what we call it, the big fish experience.
Is that what you call the big fish experience? All right, there you go. So big fish experience, and then understanding how that allowed you to then, because you had such a great customer experience, that it then allowed you and enabled you to create a very scalable sales process and allowed you to have a lot of effectiveness there. And then ultimately that led you to creating the brand that you have in your area, which I know you're wearing the shirt. It's a little tiny thing on your shirt, but it's cool. It's like
it's big fish with a heart.
The whole big fish, with the heart.
Big Fish Contracting has a hammer for us roofers, and then Big Fish cares because now that I'm more in a place where I care about my employees and our customers, so I just kind of go with Big Fish Cares.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah. So all of that to be said, I think a lot of this journey you've been on, and especially over the last couple of years, based on what you told me about your operating system focus and EOS, without me getting into a lot of granular questions that I have around that, just first and foremost, just share your experience with the entrepreneur operating system or the importance of having an operating system in your business at all. Just kind of give us the lowdown on what that's done for you and your business and you personally.
I was able to get out from being the main number one employee where I was doing the selling, doing the project managing, ordering jobs, paying invoices, right? I was then able to, figure out, okay, how do I duplicate myself in the sales side? Because that was causing a lot of pain for me personally, because like I was doing all the work and I was trying to manage the business. I know a lot of us have been there trying to wear all the hats. Once I figured out, through some sales training and sales process implementation, I was able to get out of the sales department and then focus on the other holes in my business. And boy, were there a lot of holes, right? Like, I didn't even know things that I didn't know about until I had like bandwidth to like actually look at it. And then I had someone helping me run my company because I always knew I wasn't good at the administration, the organization, the financial stuff. Like it just was boring to me. So like I just never wanted to do it. And I paid my bills and I paid everybody, but like everything was a mess. And so I brought a guy on because I was in a little business networking group, and one of the people told me, well, you need a guy that can do all that stuff. So I just hired the guy that showed up with the MBA. He got paid good. I'm like, cool, this is my savior. Like I did that for a year or two, and then realized that me and him didn't really have the same values per se for people and the hearts of people. And the culture was starting to get affected by that. And it was like, I didn't even want to come to work anymore. And I was in a lot of pain then again. I was like not selling. I was like trying to run a business, be a CEO. But man, this guy that's helping me run my company, me and him just aren't on the same page. So I read a book.
And that's a dangerous place to be.
Oh, it's the worst.
Worst place.
It's actually worse than me doing all the sales. Because I couldn't figure out, like I couldn't just fix it by going to work. You know what I mean? I couldn't like outwork it. Like it was just like a relationship thing, and it was like a communication thing, I would say. We weren't on the same page.
We talk about it all the time. Communication, man, is like number one.
And again, because I struggle with communication anyway, because I think with my ADHD a little bit, and I'm like super dominant, and I'm super like persuasive and influential. Like people say yes to me, and they walk away and they say, I ain't doing that. Like, but they told me yes to shut me up, right? So through all that,
which is why you're a good salesperson.
Yeah,
by the way.
probably.
That's good.
So I read a book called Rocket Fuel because I was in one of my sales coaching things, and I was talking to another business owner, and he said, you need to read Rocket Fuel. So I read Rocket Fuel, and I was like, wow. Like, dude, the guy that they're describing in that book, the visionary guy, I mean, that is me, like 100%. I'm like, there's not one thing I disagree with. Like, I feel like that's me 100%.
To a T.
And this integrator guy that they talked about in the book, I'm like, dude, that's what I need. And the current guy I have, he's not it. Yeah. And it was so clear because, like, you have to read the book to really understand, and you have to be like at least understand what, a right-hand man and a visionary and how they work together and the respect that you have to have for each role because they're totally different roles.
For sure.
But you need to have somebody that's aligned with your core values.
Yep.
I always had core values, but I didn't do a good job of making sure that everybody knew, like, oh, this was the most important thing that mattered.
Conveying that message, sure.
It wasn't just about making money, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times your right-hand guys, your MBA guys, your COO guys, they're just concerned with spreadsheets, making money, and I never had, listen, when this guy was here, I had to have more money than I ever had before, but I was a lot of pain. I was
miserable. Doesn't matter.
The sheets look good, but all my people were walking around miserable. I was miserable. It wasn't a fun place to work. The whole reason I created the company was to like have a fun place to work.
Yeah.
So I read that book, and then I just started doing the work. Right, I hired an implementer. We started doing, the vision building day 1, 2, all the focus day. I think I'm out of order.
You're out of order, but that's okay. I'm just messing.
I've been doing it for 2 years now.
No, it's great.
And I've been able to then start creating departments and then a leadership team. To the point now where, as of July 1st, I turned the company over to my integrator to kind of let him run things. Named him the president. He's pretty much in charge of everything. I still get to help out with the big ideas, the big relationships, the creative problem solving. I still get to help a little bit with the recruiting because I like to do it. I want people to still feel the heartbeat of the organization. I don't necessarily want to be in touching every single button or stirring the pot anymore. So that's kind of why I said, all right, cool. Let's see if the system can work. I'm working a couple hours with the leadership meeting, or say a couple same page meetings with a couple of my key people, and that's it. I'm letting them do their things, and we have measurables in place, data, scorecards, that I can see the pulse of my business every week, and I can see if we're hitting goals, if we're on track, off track, on a weekly basis. Rather, before it was on a yearly basis. Because I would my accountant would be like, "Oh, hey, you got a good year." Well, thanks, man. All right, what are we doing now?
It's totally reactive, not proactive at that point.
So reactive. And now we can be proactive, and now I understand enough about numbers to be able to make decisions and forecast based on what I know about the industry. And as my past stuff, and as I get better and better at it, I'm actually able to be a better CEO.
Yeah. So with EOS specifically? I mean, I know that that's the operating system, entrepreneur operating system. For those of you that are watching, if you haven't heard of it before, feel free to look into that. It's a great system. That's kind of what got me on my journey. I was an implementer myself, so but as far as being more, I guess, giving yourself permission, especially as more of the integrator type, which is, I would say, probably, I mean, I'm a little bit of both, but definitely on the integration side, giving you permission to be good at that, right? Versus having to be good at everything, which is kind of what the struggle of the visionary side of things is too. So my question to you is, to follow up on that EOS piece, is what specifically inside of EOS did you feel like was, and I know you mentioned rocket fuel already being one of those things that like light bulb turned on and like kind of opened your eyes to that. But what did you feel like were the key components to EOS that really just allowed you to go from, hey man, I'm working, doing everything, wearing all the hats. I mean, is there any specific component of EOS that you were like, oh man, that changed my life?
The integrator role.
Just the integrator, yeah.
Well, not just, but like that was the main part. Like once I realized that there were how people out there, like I had the ideas, I just lacked a lot of execution.
Yeah.
And there was people that actually loved it. There's people that loved to like take this little thing that you got, take this little baby of a business that you got, and this awesome stuff that you have, this brand that you've created. And we just need to organize it and then make processes and get people just doing it to the point where it's so mundane and so repetitive. To a guy like me, it's kind of boring, but like there's people that love that, like just that system. It's like a symphony.
Yep.
It's like he's just directing the symphony and like everything is going into place.
Yep.
And to me, I was like, wow, like, he likes finding like that little 1% process improvement that like then drives the organization. And he also likes the integrator, and I shouldn't, it's he or she, right? It can be anybody, but for my guy, Rob, he's able to like take the different departments when marketing and sales has an issue. He's able to like kind of like figure out like how to make it work.
What you're doing right there, that's the what I call turning the DJ knobs at the DJ desk. You know what I mean?
Like
you're like mixing it up, just tweaking it a little bit, just make it a little bit better, right?
And he's for the company. He's not for any department, right?
No, yeah.
At the end of the day, yes, does he have some more experience in maybe the operations department, the finance department? But yes, is he learning sales and marketing? But his whole job is to optimize
all of
and
it.
Make all the departments run together like a well-oiled machine, and kind of just figure out judiciously, like, all right, cool, here's the issue with marketing, here's the issue with sales, let's see how we can get them to play nice together, let's see how we can work it together to where it's best for the company than just the department, and trying to get people in the leadership team to kind of play nice together when there's we have disagreements, but they're healthy disagreements because we like conflict. But then after the conflict's had and we make a decision, we all commit to that decision, and then we execute, and that's when it starts to become fun. Because before, when it was just me, it was like, I had this idea, all right, we're gonna try this, and then 2 weeks later, oh, you know what, that's not working.
Sure.
Because I never gave it enough time to like actually fully
Gotta
develop.
let it develop and breathe a little bit. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm not good at that part. That's why you need an integrator. So you need a how guy.
That's good, man. That's good. Well, we're going to take a quick break here, give a quick shout out to our sponsors, and we'll be right back in just a moment.
Job Nugget is a fully customizable back office solution.
Track leads, jobs, tasks from one easy-to-use software.
And with the largest ecosystem of integrated partners, if we don't do it, we have a friend who does.
Learn how the #1 back office system in roofing
can help you be efficient, be organized, be professional, and be profitable.
Are you looking to stand out with your proposal? Sumo Quote is the contractor quote that crushes the competition. It is the fastest way to build custom quotes that impresses clients and wins more work. It's one of those must-have technologies for roofing contractors, allowing them to sell faster, sell more, and sell smarter. Be sure to check them out at try.sumoquote.com/start-build-grow.
All right, thank you so much to our sponsors. Thank you especially to our presenting sponsor, Job Nimbus. Go check them out at jobnimbus.com, industry-leading CRM, as well as Sumo Quote, an industry-leading sales enablement tool. I know you love Sumo Quote. Sumo Quote, go check them out at sumoquote.com. Again, thank you both to both of our sponsors for sponsoring the show. So so let's get back into it. So I know I skipped over this earlier, and I want to come back to the EOS piece because I want to get your opinion too on kind of this ongoing coaching philosophy, and you got a pretty successful business, and I'll ask you about that here in just a minute as far as how you've continued to implement EOS. But let's backtrack, because I did skip over it with the Big Fish experience. So let's just share a little bit with our viewers around like the key components of what you really hit on with your Big Fish experience, and what that looks like in your organization.
So really, it's just the way that you deliver your service, right? Because at the end of the day, we're service providers. Yeah, we have cool shingles, and like, you know, we sell the best warranties, the best shingles in the business. But at the end of the day, your client, what separates you from everybody else is the experience that you give that person. Because the shingles, you can go to, everyone can go buy the same shingles. You know, the homeowners can go buy their own shingles, install their own roofs. What experience are you delivering? You know, I can kind of compare it to like, you know, shopping at Nordstrom's or going to the Ritz-Carlton, where like they roll out the red carpet for you, they cater to you, they really go out of their way to make you feel special, so that way you can remember them, you keep coming back, right? And for us, you know, I wanted to build a brand that lasts, because I want people to love me, and I want people to always have, you know, a good taste in their mouth when they hear Big Fish. So that's what we built, and it all starts on that day of job experience. And, you know, right when you first, you know, get there in the morning to meet the homeowner, you know, like go over the scope of work, make sure that, you know, you go over any fears or concerns that customer has, you do a nice walk around, take some pictures, and then get that customer, you know, we use Company Cam with a link that you can give them to show them the roof process. As long as we take a lot of pictures, we instruct our crew on the same thing, go over the scope of work with the crew, make sure they're on the same page, let them know what the customer's fears are, so that way we all know what's going on. So that way, after the fact, we don't have any problems. Less problems on the back end if we prepare and plan a little bit on the front end.
Yep.
I know roofers don't like to prepare and plan, because sometimes it's boring, because sometimes we love to live in that like urgency mindset. But eventually, once you start doing more than one job a day, like it starts to get old, having to go back to like 15 jobs. So doing those things in the morning are really important. Getting the crew started out right, having a person there from your company to like be the liaison between the customer and the crew. And then obviously distribution from when you're getting your shingles, or if you get dumpsters delivered, or anything else that has to happen for that job site, you're the person. And it's not, for us, it's not a sales guy, because a sales guy should be busy selling. So we turn it over to a project manager to kind of do that day of job experience.
That's good.
We check in with the homeowner during like once the wood's taken off, or the underlayment's taken off, so that way we can inspect the wood, let them know if there's a change order. You know, we meet with the customer after the job's done. And I'm kind of going fast a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's just very, very customer touch points through text messages, phone calls, updates, to get that 5-star experience at the end of the job when we do the walk around, so that way they're really excited. And then hopefully that leads to lots of referrals, which then generates marketing, which then generates sales.
Sure. No, it's good, man. Yeah, and I don't want it to be an injustice, because you're condensing it obviously for the show, but you have a lot of great, like, some of the stuff you showed in your keynote was based around the kind of some of the actual materials that your customers get, or kind of like what you walk them through from a process standpoint of what that entire experience looks like. And you've even self-admitted, like, you're not the cheapest guy, and you never will be. Like, that's the whole idea, is that you deliver at that level of service. And we do a lot of those things inside of TRA too, where we talk about like how in depth is the beginning of your production process to the end in terms of those touch points, those automations, all the things that you just mentioned there too. Because everybody says they have the best customer experience.
Yeah, of course.
Because
just like they have the best warranty.
They have the best warranty, they have the best shingle, everybody. But when you actually have that system down to a T, which is why I want to tell the viewers that, yes, Benny's saying a lot of the same things that you probably already heard before, but he actually has implemented that, which is what's really different. Everybody can talk about the best customer experience, but when you actually have a great customer experience, and I've seen it with my own 2 eyes with some of the stuff you've created, it's really cool. So I love it, man.
I will never forget, what was it, probably 5 years ago, when I tried to tell the people, hey, every house we have to take 20 pictures. This was just 20 pictures with Company Cam.
Yep.
You would have thought that was like a nightmare trying to get that to even happen the first time.
Yeah.
But now, like, people don't even, the new employees, they don't even know that there's another way. Now we require like 100 pictures.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
for sure.
And the same thing with setting up a catch-all. We have this like tarp system. Like, that was such a pain to get it like onboarded.
Yeah.
But now that they see the value in it, and customers are expecting it, so you have to do it.
For sure.
It's not a
For
choice.
sure. Yeah.
It's the way we do things now.
Yeah, it's a new level of, it's a new bar for that experience, which is great, Cool. So let's go back into, hopping back into EOS, and I'm really curious. I know you're with Sales Transformation Group now
So there's probably a middle part, right, where I needed to duplicate that experience over and over again. And then I had a lot of pain, right? So then signed up with Sales Transformation Group, got them to like teach me like how I could like duplicate myself, because I couldn't figure out how to teach my sales process to anybody.
Yeah.
Like I knew how to sell at home,
Yep.
but I couldn't teach anybody else. So, I learned how to, first of all, become a better salesman myself, ask a lot better questions instead of just show up and throw up and present numbers.
Sure.
Say I'm the best, just like we said. Like, how do we separate ourselves?
Yeah.
Go through that process. Then I was able to then teach it to other people, have a lot of success for that. We had a guy that never been in roofing before, never been in sales, sold $2.5 million his first year.
That's awesome,
$4 million
dude.
his second year. On pace for over $5 million this year.
Crushing.
Like, yeah, and like now I don't have to do the sales. So then I was able to then find the EOS.
Yeah. So I didn't mean to jump ahead. Like,
No,
yeah,
that's all right.
you can give, so Sales Transformation Group played a big role in the process, as well as Contractor Dynamics, I would assume, with some of the stuff that Joe and them do.
Contractor Dynamics, and that's now in my new role where I'm only 4-hour CEO there, helping Sales Transformation Group, National Account Executive, help contractors basically. I have a passion just for helping contractors find the same path of success that I did. And then I met Joe Hughes at an event.
Yeah.
Now, I wasn't using his marketing training, but his values and my values all aligned. I was kind of
Joe's a good dude, too.
And the way he was teaching people about how to build brand, like I just figured, it took me 7 years to figure it all out myself. I wish there would have been a guy like Joe Hughes around when I first started.
Yeah.
So like our core values line up. So now I'm helping him with some of his customers with like a little bit of coaching when they get stuck
That's awesome.
in the weeds. So
That's awesome, man.
fun, man.
That's awesome.
It's all about giving back.
For sure. Well, yeah. So I want to kind of, as we start winding down the show here, I want to get your opinion on, so through your EOS experience, which obviously has changed, that's what's allowed you in a lot of ways to be able to be right here, which is awesome. But specifically around your ongoing belief around the belief around ongoing coaching and having that. You've mentioned that to me before, like that you still have the implementer coach that comes in every quarter and has that kind of that third party unbiased opinion about what your business looks like, where it is now, where it can go in the future. So share a little bit about your opinion on that, whether it's an EOS implementer coach or any coaching in general. That's what I'm saying. So give me some.
So one of our core values at Big Fish is exceed expectations. People count. We count on process. We have a desire to exceed expectations. Ongoing coaching and self-improvement are a must for us. That's like one of our core values. And it's not just enough to say that, right? Like they have to see the leader do it, right? So I've been through, like I said, lots of different networking groups, coaching groups. I've probably spent, definitely over $100,000 in my own personal development of learning through this. We still have, we're still in Sales Transformation Group. My guys are still we're still role playing, we're still practicing every single week. We still have the EOS guy come in. I still, I go to Tony Robbins events. I'm constantly trying to always
reinvest
learn,
and
right?
invest in yourself. Yeah.
Even being here at the One Industry, One Model, people think I might be sharing a story on stage, but I'm learning more from even teaching and sharing, and then even watching others, and then listening to other contractors. I'm learning way more. I can tell you that.
That's good, man.
For me, because I don't have much. I'm just sharing my story.
You got a good story, man.
I know, but it's easy to share your story, but I'm learning from everybody else.
I could share that same. That commonality is there as well for me. It's reciprocated. We all learn from one another, and when we're giving back.
Doing it by yourself and trying to figure it out. Yeah, is it possible? Sure. The first couple of years, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of falling on my face, getting back up. It gets hard after a while,
Yeah.
So I call it coaching and self-improvement. It's like a little gas on the fire.
Yeah.
But if you already have it, sure, you can get there, but you might be able to get there a little bit quicker.
Yep.
With a little bit of help.
Yep.
And that's what I did, and I still love it, man. I will never build another team without help, ever again.
That's good,
I'll never
man.
do it the way I got here. If I would have been that smart, I would have probably quit. I don't know. I feel like I was too stupid to quit.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Where if I would have known any better, I probably wouldn't have done it.
That's funny.
Because there was a lot of pain. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
don't do
Well, and it protects the integrity of what you're building too, because it gets that unbiased third-party element, right? I mean, because yeah, sure, coaches, whether it's EOS coaches, sales transformation, whatever it is, sure, they're invested in your business, but it's not you and your own biases and the way that you see your business.
They
And
put me right in place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes my EOS member, you're like, Ben, that's out of line. You're not allowed to do that. You're a visionary. Stay in your lane. Like, right? They'll, like, in a good coach, they'll put you in your place.
Put you in your place for sure. No doubt, no doubt. We believe in that as well. Well, it's been great having you on the show, man, and I appreciate you joining us again. And let's end the show off, if you don't mind. I'm gonna kick it over to you for the gold nugget for the show. What's the one thing you want to leave our viewers with as something that kind of stands out to you, and something that we can leave for them on the show on episode 201?
So no matter how big or small your roofing company is, it's really important to build culture, and it's more than just having like a nice company picnic or a party. One of the things that we implemented, I don't know if it was a year or 2 years ago, is we started doing 5 to 15 minute huddles every morning. We do a sales huddle and an operations huddle. And because roofing and sales and project management are so kind of independent, like we're job site specific, we don't really work together with like a 20-person team. You're kind of by yourself on an island.
For sure.
We thought it was really cool to like get everybody together in the morning on a Zoom call. This is like, I think this happened as a result of COVID, right? Too. Like we learned how to everyone learned how to use Zoom automatically.
Yeah.
So like everyone just jumps on a Zoom call. It's scheduled for 5-10 minutes every morning. We kind of just do a quick check-in of what went well yesterday, what didn't go so well yesterday, what do you got on the docket for today. We laugh, we joke, we get the bond together. And to me, that's been one of the coolest things, especially as a CEO and somebody that's in charge of company culture, that I love that we do to kind of like stay engaged and keep that camaraderie and not let silos build up.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Transparency in business is key, and being able to have that. I'm a big believer, and you can tell just through your passion of your words, like how much culture and the family of Big Fish means everything to you. Yeah.
Listen, because at the end of the day, like I said, roofing sucks, sales process sucks. Marketing, no, we do it for the people.
You have to do it for the people. I'm the same way.
You gotta do
I'm the
it
same.
for the people,
Yeah.
'cause, like all that other
Totally.
stuff just gets in the way. Like,
Totally.
It's
Totally.
kind of like, let's just, we have to go through the motions for the roofing stuff, but like I tell all the roofing manufacturers to plug their ears. But,
Yeah. It's the stuff that you can create alongside your team, the trips you get to experience, the cool stuff.
Leaders.
Yeah, developing
Like,
leaders,
when
all
you-
that stuff.
When you take someone, the whole reason I started a company is because no one developed me.
Yep.
And I just
Which is
wanted-
cool that
and
you
I-
get to now
and I
like
wanted to
do
develop- I
that for
wanted-
people. Yep.
If somebody would have developed me, I'd still be there, man. I'd be
Yeah.
like their right-hand man. I'd
Yeah.
be high-fiving.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that opportunity, so I vowed myself as like one of my goals is first of all, I want to have a bigger vision than any of my people.
Yep.
So that way my people always have a home, right? They always have a place to be.
Yep.
No matter how successful they want to be, I want to be able to like help them build their own empires inside of like the ecosystem, right? And I think that's really important for leaders, because I never want to lose a good person. Because I look back at all the jobs I've had, I probably have 15 different jobs. They all lost a good person.
They lost
a good
yeah,
person, right?
for sure.
And now, it's funny, it's full circle. I had a guy in the car business reach out to me the other day. He wants a job. He's been seeing my like success, I guess, over the last 10 years. He actually called me and said, hey, I'm like 60 now. I'm kind of like slowing down. I kind of want just a sales job. I don't want to be in charge anymore. He was a sales manager at a dealership I worked at when I was 20.
That's wild.
And now he's calling me and wanting to come work at my organization. You tell him that is why I do.
That's why you do it. That's awesome.
inspiring.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing your story, brother. Thanks for being on the show this week. And appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't already, go like and subscribe to the Start, Build, Grow show. We're on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. I think we got all the channels rolling now. So be sure to check us out. Thanks again to our friend here, Mr.
Plug my Instagram.
Mr. Yeah, I guess you can plug your Instagram.
Wow.
Go ahead, plug your
I'm trying to get more
Instagram.
Instagram followers.
Go ahead and
I'm
plug
a
it.
little
Go.
slow. I'm big on Facebook because I'm like older, but I like got off this a late start on Instagram. So I'm bigfish.benny on Instagram.
There you go,
Benny
big-
Fisher on Facebook.
There you go. That's good. That's good. Appreciate you guys joining us for this week's episode 201. Look forward to seeing you guys this next week, and stay tuned. Take care. Peace.